This video is about how to change into vertex form of a quadratic function. There are three forms of a quadratic function. One is a standard form. The other two is a vertex form and intercept form. The relationship between intercept form and a vertex form, that's h equals x1 plus x2 over 2 and k equals f of h. The relation between standard form and vertex form, that's this is the one. H equals negative b over 2a and k equals f of h. hk is the vertex of a quadratic function. The relation between standard form and intercept form, we use a quadratic formula to figure out the x1 and x2, then you can change into intercept form. Today's lesson is change standard form into vertex form. There are many ways to do that. One way, that's in algebra 2, we use this formula. H equals negative b over 2a and find the k equals f of h. Then you can put into this formula to get the vertex form. Since in this class we already learned the derivative, we know the derivative is the slope of a tangent line. When derivative equal to 0, we can figure out the vertex for quadratic function. Then you plug this h into function, get the k. In this lesson, I will use two methods to work out one question. Let's do algebra 2 way. For 35, we got f of x equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 7. We know that a equals 2, b equals negative 4, and c equals 7. Therefore, h equals negative b over 2a. We plug in. We got negative 4 over 2 times 2. Then we got the 1. K equals f of 1. So we plug in 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 7. You can get the 2 minus 4 plus 7. That equals 5. So 1, 5, that's our hk. We plug into this formula. We got the y equals a is 2, x minus 1 squared plus 5. This is all you did in algebra 2. Now in pre-cal level, we got to use a derivative to work this out. We already know, still we're working on 35. Fx equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 7. We got to do derivative for this quadratic function. That is 2x squared. We got to do derivative. Then minus 4x, you got to do derivative. Then plus 7, you got to do derivative. According to the power rule, x to the nth power, derivative for that is nx to the n minus first power. Therefore, we got the x squared derivative, that is 2x, then 2 times 2x. 4x minus, for linear function, that's your slope. So this is a 4, minus 4, then plus 0. constant number derivative equals 0. So we got the 4x minus 4. We set up this 4x minus 4 equal to 0. Then we add 4 both sides. We got the 4x equals to 4. Divided by 4, that x equals to 1. Basically, this x equals 1, that is h equals to 1. Then we can figure out the k equals f of h, means f of 1. Now we plug 1 into this function. We got the 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 7. We got the 5. Therefore, 1 and 5, that's hk. And a will be the coefficient of x squared. That's 2. So we got y equals 2 x minus 1 squared plus 5. Now go to 36. F of x equals negative 3x squared minus 6x plus 1. Still, we got the a equals negative 3, b equals negative 6, c equals 1. Then we got h equals negative b over 2a. So we got negative 6 over 2 times negative 3. That is 6 over negative 6 equals to negative 1. Therefore, k equals f of h. That is f of negative 1. So we plug negative 1 into the function to figure out the k. Then we got the negative 3 times negative 1 squared minus 6 times negative 1 plus 1. We got negative 3 plus 6 plus 1 equals 4. In other words, negative 1 and 4 will be the vertex we label as hk. A equals negative 3. Therefore, we use vertex formula. We got y equals negative 3 x plus 1 squared plus 4. This is the vertex form for 36. Now we got to use a derivative to figure out the vertex form. First of all, we got to do derivative of this function. Therefore, we got to do derivative for each term. Then use the power rule. We got derivative for x squared, that's 2x. Negative 3 times 2x. Derivative for linear function, that will be slope, so minus 6. Derivative for constant number, that's 0. Therefore, we got negative 6x minus 6. Since we are looking for the vertex, that either maximum point or minimum point, at that point, derivative equal to 0. So we set up the derivative equal to 0 to figure out this x. Add 6 both sides, we got negative 6x equal to 6. Divide by negative 6, we got the x equals to negative 1. That is h. Now we plug f of h into the function to get the k. F of h means f of negative 1. So we plug negative 1 into the function. We got negative 3 times negative 1 squared minus 6 times negative 1 plus 1. So we got negative 3 plus 6 plus 1 equals to 4. In other words, we got -1, 4. That is hk. A equals the coefficient of x squared, that is -3. Therefore, we got to use the vertex form. We got the y equals -3 x plus 1 squared plus 4. Because x minus h, x minus -1, that's the reason we got the x plus 1. This will be the vertex form for 36.